Hi everyone, welcome to Drive and Fail 60. We've got a mini roundabout up ahead, and there's a learner that's doing a right turn from the opposite direction. It's obvious that the learner's on the roundabout first, and they're from the silver car's right. But the driver of the silver car still wants to point a finger and tell them they've done it wrong. They then proceed to sit there for a full 30 seconds, holding all the other traffic up around. This is getting more and more common, how people think they're so right, but they're actually exactly the opposite. And this is also what I find. Driving schools are an easy target for people like this. There was a fair bit of driving over that roundabout, wasn't there? Sometimes people struggle with driving in towns and cities. Have a look at the vehicle on the right hand side. Yeah, the white one. Pretty obviously, you're not meant to do that. But only a few seconds later, my viewer captures the same driver doing this. They're not having a good day, are they? I think I would have expected a lot of my viewers, well, my long-term viewers, to have got onto this situation quite quickly. Remember, have I been seen and sitting in people's blind spots? A save is a save at the end of the day, but I think people can do better than that, from both sides. Pretty obviously the driver of this Fiesta looks at the wrong light in this clip. I thought the driver of the Audi was going to get a piece of the action there for a second. Have a look at the road that my viewer rides into. That blue sign on the left says that this is one way, but that's not going to deter this driver coming the other way. Who remembers that old Limmy sketch? I'll be interested to hear people's take on this one. Is this a poor emerge, or would this driver still be stuck there now if they didn't make a move somehow? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. I do know that my viewer made it a non-event though. Well done. My viewer was at fault with this clip. Their car wasn't dressed in high vis. This collision happened in slow motion. How did this lorry driver not see that they were going to do this? The driver of that BMW should have stopped at least where my viewer was, but they did stop in their lane for a few moments before they were struck. This is all on the lorry driver, I'm afraid. They didn't just drive off, they're just moving round the corner so the road could keep flowing. In this clip we're watching the vehicle in front and the red Mini in lane 3.
That's good.
At the roundabout, take the second exit on
Oh,
8-4.
oh, look at that. Oh,
Oh dear.
gosh. The touched, I'm sure they touched.
Yeah.
Wow, that was horrible, no?
Yeah, I could see it happening as well.
And they're not stopping to... Have they stopped?
And that is the exact problem. The red Mini doesn't stop. After the roundabout, they do temporarily stop and seem to have a chat, but the Mini just drives off again, and it looks as though the driver of the Volkswagen is giving chase. There was definitely contact, and no details seemed to be exchanged. Interesting one, this. I bet the owner of this dog had their heart in the mouth. The driver of the bus didn't seem to slow down much, did they? It's that particular make of car again. This clip's actually comical on how pointless it is. The driver of the van in front could have literally done what my viewer did. Held back for a couple of seconds and then been in exactly the same place they ended up in the queue. Not the cleverest. Have a look at the queue on the opposite carriageway. Even the police don't know how to merge in turn. Ironically, people will be cursing the driver of this BMW. But here's the police car, queuing nice and early. Not my clip, but very close to where I live. A big shout out to this driver from Sefton Council for putting people's lives at risk. And here's someone else with the company that they work for plastered over the side of the vehicle, putting people's lives at risk.
The draftsman's contract was funded by BFI Production Board. We had a large material, including.
It didn't fluster the cyclist. It's probably an everyday occurrence though to some. Watch the scooter rider who tries to enter the roundabout from the next exit. They get a little surprise. Well, rather a big surprise. Mistakes from all sides on this one, but luckily the two people who could have collided were good enough and aware enough to stop it happening. Who do you think my viewer was flashing for? It was a big part of the problem. But do you also think the lack of lights on the white van was another factor why the blue van thought it was possibly parked? Due to impatience, cycling can bring the worst out in drivers. I see this all the time when I'm in the driving school vehicle. No commentary needed. This coach driver was going anyway. No one was stopping them. Notice the speed of the lorry coming in as well. That was a dangerous emerge. I've always said I don't think the CBT is enough training. Simply awful riding. This Ford people carrier identifies as a cyclist. Another example of a wrong roundabout. Remember, anti-clockwise gives way to clockwise. It's the second van that passes this cyclist that we're watching. And I'd like to point out the absolute irony of this van driver having this sticker on the back of their van warning cyclists to stay back because it's dangerous. Considering they passed at such a close distance, I think they need a few lessons on safety themselves. Of all the people to crash into, imagine if you picked a police vehicle. Definitely another clip for Limmy. I think this driver did this purposefully. My viewer lets them know they're on a one-way street, and it seems as though reluctantly they turn round and go in the other direction. To finish, I'd like to say again a massive thanks to everyone who supports the channel by buying their VFO dashcam from the links in the description. Use the code Ashley and you can save yourself 5%. Now, on to the clip. We're on a one-way street, there's a police vehicle ahead and another vehicle turns in the wrong way. And the police do absolutely nothing about it. Sums up our roads at the minute, don't you think? Keep safe everyone. I'll see you soon.